Hey, I'm Marv. I'll be showing you guys how to get the achievements and also some cool little things I found when I was playing the game. Obviously there's going to be spoilers, so watch out for that if you guys haven't played the game or if you haven't watched any playthroughs yet. But before I start, I have to talk about two achievements. The first one being Blink and You'll Miss. This is a random chance event that can happen anytime during your playthrough. It can't happen when you have the game paused and have the menu open, so you're just going to have to sit tight for this to happen. And the second achievement being Lonely Door, which you just get for being in the game, so it's kind of like a nothing sandwich. Anyway, I'm going to chronologically start for the rest of the 12 achievements that we have. The first achievement is going to be Salesman Delay. From the opposite side of the foot of the bed, you're going to want to head left on the other dirt path. Then on the left side, look for the third stall that has an open counter. If you found the right one, then you should find a mannequin that you can interact with. And when you do, it should give you the achievement. The second achievement is called Nicky Knocky, which you can just get by knocking on any door repeatedly. I'm not too sure if these doors count, but if they don't, then any other door would probably work. Please don't tap the glasses behind the receptionist lady. There's a big glass tank where you can stare at the legs, or fishes I guess, and you have to watch it for a couple of minutes before you get the achievement. Next is camera review. You're gonna have to set it up by speaking to the chick with the coral glasses, and then getting her fax number. Now the achievement is also in the area of two other achievements. These two being On a Night Like This and Advanced Consumer Society. So after you go through the Lonely Door, you're gonna have to juggle these achievements, so lock in. First, you're going to want to look for this creature called Tasky Maiden. Then you're just going to want to talk to her. Afterwards, you want to go to the big guy with the taxi, go through the dialogue of this dude real quick. And then you should be able to enter the taxi afterwards. We're going to be put in a new area, and you're going to want to head to the left and talk to the guy standing on the road. And then once you leave, you should get the achievement. Then right after, you're going to want to head back in. There should be a secret door right by the roadblocks to the right. And then here is going to bring you to a maze. Here I kind of sped around the maze. In the first portion you're going to want to take two lefts and then goes in the first hole you see. Then you want to take a right to the nearest corner. And then another right, and then the first left on the left hand side. You're then going to pass some doors. After that you're going to take a right. And then left, and then right, and then left. And then the squiggle part, and then hole. You're going to want to go around the nearest corner again, and then start following the corridor until you see the blue area. Here you can then drop down to get the Advanced Consumer Society achievement. You can then leave this area by knocking on the door. Hey, now remember, one more achievement. The final server Canada review, the first thing that we set up is a data number 7746837. You can just do this by typing on your keypad or number line, whatever it's called. After the phone call, you'll get the achievement. Now there's 3 more achievements you can do here. Luckily they're all spaced out so you guys can take a break. Now the first achievement is going to be Bad Samaritan. You're going to go up to the bridge guy and talk to him as usual. We want to get to the revive screen. Do not press E for 7 minutes. Or more. After a while you should turn blue, which right afterwards you will get the achievement. For the second achievement, Crone Operator, you're going to want to cross the bridge and find the 4th witch. Where's the witch?
Oh, you aren't who I was expecting to see here.
For this achievement, you're going to want to complete the crane minigame as fast as you can. So before you go to the crane that you pass by, watch how it's done. Now for the next achievement, you're going to want to complete the witch quest, which should give you the motherboard. And after you get it, you can then turn it into the shaman to get the human board. You're then going to use the human board to get on top of the ship, and go to this corner platform where you can drop into the stone thing. You're then going to want to plant the human board onto the 3 bones, and go on top of the building. Here you can then press E on this little critter thing, and then get the achievement. Finally, the last 3 achievements are going to be at the end of the game, so we're going to jump all the way to the river bathroom thing. The first achievement we're going to do is called Sick Tricks. I'm not too sure if you can do this with the human board, but with this one I didn't do it with one. I realized when I used the menu pause I completely got rid of the dizziness effect, so it made crossing the river way easier. So I'm just going to leave this portion in so you guys can see it in action. Now since you got the achievement before you actually entered the bathroom, you should be safe to jump right back in for the final 2 achievements. Both of these achievements, patient listener and raising the roofs, aren't really hard to get. They're just very time consuming. So for the first one, raising the roofs, you're gonna want to keep note of the 5th house to the far left. That one's a real house. So with every other fake house, you're gonna want to get rid of it until the only one left is a real house. When you get rid of the final fake house, you'll get the achievement. Now for the last achievement, patient listener, you're going to want to go to the left hand side where the doors are at when you spawn in, up until you get to the 10th door. You're going to notice when you get to these that you can't knock on them, but instead you can walk through them. Walk down the corridor until you see the blue monkey. And then the final step in all of this is to talk to him for 10 minutes. 10 minutes of dialogue, and then you get the achievement. Now that should be all the achievements, but there is 4 or 5 things that I do want to talk about that I discovered when I was playing the game, mostly because I was surprised when they weren't involved in any achievements, so I was kind of left wondering what there were for. The first being the entity across the river. I noticed that when you follow the stones or you didn't get vaporized by like the smog or fog, I guess, and once you get up to it, it's actually a statue, and when you interact with it, it talks about a link and also need a chaperone, which I really didn't know what it was talking about. I originally thought it was a fax machine when I was looking at it from the other side of the river. The next thing I want to talk about is a hole in the caverns. I originally thought it was impossible to actually get across this, but after trying so many times I turned into a D1 long jump athlete and I actually got across. When you progress inside the corridor, you kind of just go into like a middle school hallway, with there being little you can interact with. Really the only 2 notable things here is the view they can get on the right side, showing those massive dog things flying in the sky being mass produced. The last thing being the door at the very end, which once you interact with it, shows that this cannot be opened yet text. After this, I went and completed all the quests and came back here with a human board, and I got the same text from the doors and no other interactables. The next thing is going to be the very start of the game. I'm exploring the area when I saw a creature and then found a flea. It only brings up 1 line of dialogue and nothing else after you talk with it multiple times. The second thing being these airplane-like things spawning in the sky, which I think happens after you walk around the area for a certain amount of time. The next thing being one of the holes inside the area after you go through the taxi. And you get here by just jumping on the coffin stick inside the walls. And after you go through the hole, you'll notice that you go into a new area and find a single time glass. I'm pretty sure something happens if you tap all of the time glasses spread throughout the game. Maybe the door opens in the cavern, but I'm not too sure. The next thing also involves a coffin sticking outside of the walls. After you hop around enough, you should be able to go into the hole right by the taxi. It'll then lead you down the corridor. After you walk through the entire thing, you'll end up in this area with a bunch of these purple little kids. Really, there's nothing else to talk about in this area, aside from the dudes forming a circle and spinning around. Around the area where you go into the hole and find the time glass, there's also a moon that you can interact with. I realized though that after I did interact with him, and after I started a new save and played back to this area, he wasn't there anymore. I think also doing this also brings up a new dialogue option when you talk to the genie. Finally, last thing I want to talk about is this one specific hole right outside the Purge event. It leads into a tunnel with a whole different vibe and also a new character sitting down. I haven't found a way to actually go into this area and actually talk with the character. Even after exploring the majority of the holes, none of them seem to lead into here. Anyway, that's going to do it for the majority of the things I want to talk about and also all of the achievements in this video. Most of these achievements are pretty obscure. I couldn't have done without a couple of helpful posts and videos made by other people. So if you guys are interested in that, I'm going to link those down in the description. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys.